अस्सलाम वालेकुम स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू माय चैनल। आज हम फाइनल टर्म के हवाले से इम्पोर्टेंट जो सब्जेक्टिव्स हैं वो यहाँ शेयर करने लगे हैं। इसमें शॉर्ट और लॉन्ग दोनों क्वेश्चन आंसर जो है ना वो आपको मिलेंगे और ये फाइनल टर्म एग्जाम्स के लिए आपके बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होगी इंशाल्लाह ताला। ये आप खुद भी कंप्लीट ज़रूर देखिएगा और अपने फेलो स्टूडेंट्स तक इस वीडियो को ज़रूर शेयर कीजिएगा ताकि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा स्टूडेंट्स जो है ना वो अपने एग्ज़ाम की अच्छी प्रिपरेशन कर सकें। तो चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं। डिफाइन पेंटिंग। Painting is a form of fine art in which visual images are created by applying colors or pigments on a surface such as canvas, paper, or wall using brushes or other tools. What is meant by term painting in art? In art, the term painting refers to both the process of applying paint and the final artwork produced through this process. Name three styles of painting: realist, impressionist, abstract. ये तीन टाइप्स होती हैं स्टाइल्स होते हैं पेंटिंग के. राइट थ्री मटेरियल्स यूज इन पेंटिंग: कैनवस, ऑयल कलर्स and brushes. What is tonal gradation? Tonal gradation is the gradual change from light to dark shades in a painting to create depth and form. Explain the key features of painting. Painting includes several important features such as theme, composition, form, application of color, tonal gradation, and style. The theme reflects the subject matter of the artwork. Composition refers to the arrangement of elements. Proper use of color and tonal variation creates the balance and depth. Style and design principles help in expressing the artist's ideas effectively. तो साथ ही मैं आपको बताते चलूँ कि ये लेक्चर्स भी ना कंप्लीट मेरे चैनल पर मौजूद हैं। अगर आप चाहें तो वो भी ज़रूर लीजिएगा ताकि आपके कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर हो। कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर होते हैं ना तो फिर क्वेश्चन आंसर्स करना इतना डिफ़िकल्ट नहीं लगता, ठीक है। और ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आप इन्हीं वर्ड्स को याद करें, आप सिर्फ कॉन्सेप्ट अपने क्लियर करें तो आप अपने वर्डिंग में भी ना आंसर दे सकते हैं, ठीक है। चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं आगे। Discuss different surfaces and tools used in painting. Painting can be done on various surfaces such as walls, canvas, paper, wood, glass, and concrete. Artists use tools like brushes, knives, sponges, and airbrushes. These tools help in achieving different texture and visual effects, making painting a flexible and expressive art form. Define mural painting. A mural is a painting created directly on a wall or ceiling while considering the architectural design of the space. Mention any three materials used in mural art: so plaster, cement, oil paint. What is meant by harmony with architectural design in murals? It means that the mural should visually and conceptually match the building's structure and environment. Explain the key features of mural painting. Mural painting has a strong public impact and is created for large spaces. Its key features include appropriate technique, durable materials, and harmony with architectural design. A successful mural enhances the environment and conveys social, cultural, or historical messages to the public. Discuss materials and processes used in mural painting. Mural painting uses materials like plaster, cement, encaustic colors, tempera, watercolors, oil paint, and digital wall spaces. These materials are selected based on durability and surface type. Proper preparation of walls ensures long-lasting results. Define miniature painting. Miniature painting is a small-scale artwork created with great details, often painted on ivory, vellum, or vasely paper. What is vasely paper? Vasely is an acid-free handmade paper developed in 10th century in India, commonly used for miniature painting. Write three key features of miniature painting: fine detail, accurate proportion, and small scale. Describe the key features of miniature painting. Miniature painting focuses on extreme detail, precise execution, balanced proportions, and controlled scale. Themes are often historical or cultural. Artists may maintain reliability and accuracy while using traditional styles and techniques. Explain the importance of details and proportion in miniature art. Detail and proportion are essential in miniature painting due to its small size. Fine lines and accurate proportions enhance realism and beauty. Proper execution reflects the skill and patience of the artist. Define sculpture. Sculpture is a three-dimensional art form created by carving, modeling, or shaping materials such as stone, clay, or metal. Name any three materials used in sculpture: stone, clay, metal. What are the two principal elements of a sculpture? The two principal elements of a sculptures are mass and space. Explain the characteristics of traditional sculpture. Traditional sculpture was representational, solid, and static. It emphasized mass over space and used carving or modeling techniques. It was inspired by Greek and Roman classical art and did not involve movement or abstraction. Discuss modern and contemporary sculpture. Modern and contemporary sculpture is not limited to traditional forms of materials. It may be abstract, kinetic, or conceptual. Artists use new techniques such as assembling, projecting, and constructing. Space movement and innovation play a major role in modern sculpture. Explain mass and space in sculpture. Mass refers to the solid volume of the sculpture, while space is the empty area around or within it. Space defines edges, creates hollows, and connects different parts of a sculpture, enhancing its visual impact. Define architecture. Architecture is the art and technique of designing and constructing buildings and spaces by considering functional, technical, social, environmental, and aesthetic needs. Why is architecture called frozen music? Architecture is called frozen music because it expresses rhythm, harmony, and beauty through structure and form, similar to music but in a physical form. Write any three key components of architecture: durability, utility, and beauty. What role does light and shadow play in architecture? Light and shadow enhances the visual beauty, depth, and ambience of architectural spaces. What is vernacular architecture? Vernacular architecture refers to buildings designed using local materials, traditional techniques, and cultural needs of a specific region. Explain the key components of architecture. Architecture is based on several key components such as durability, utility, beauty, economics, cultural expression, sustainability, scale, style, and theme. Durability ensures long life, utility focuses on functional use, and beauty provides aesthetic value. Economics controls cost efficiency, while cultural expression reflects traditions and values. Sustainability ensures environmental balance, making architecture meaningful and practical. Discuss the scope and practice of architecture. Architecture involves planning, designing, and constructing buildings that fulfill functional, social, and aesthetic needs. Architects coordinate materials, technology, light, and space. The practice also includes cost estimation, scheduling, construction, management, and preparation of drawings and technical documents that guide the construction process. Describe the evolution of architecture. Architecture evolved from basic human needs such as shelter, security, and worship. Early building practices used locally available materials. Over time, architecture became a formal discipline through trial and error. Vernacular architecture still exists today, while urbanization led to the rapid development of cities and advanced architectural forms. Define printmaking. Printmaking is the art of creating images by transferring ink from one surface to another, usually on paper through various printing techniques. Why is each print considered an original? Each print is considered original because slight variations occur during the printing process, making every impression unique. What is an impression in printmaking? An impression is the image transferred from a printing surface onto paper or another material. Name any three printmaking techniques: woodcut, etching, screen printing. What is positive and negative space in printmaking? Positive space refers to the printed areas, while negative space refers to the unprinted or blank area. Explain the key feature of printmaking. Printmaking focuses on techniques, use of color, positive and negative space, accurate registration, and expressiveness in multiples. Each process allows refinement over time, giving artists the ability to improve quality while maintaining originality in every print. Discuss major printing processes. There are four major printmaking processes: relief, intaglio, planographic, stencil. Relief prints raised surfaces like woodcut, lino cut. In intaglio, prints incised areas below the surface like etching and engraving. In planographic, prints from flat surface, and stencil prints through open areas like screen printing. Each process uses specific tools and presses. Describe materials and tools used in printmaking. Printmaking uses materials such as metals, wood, stones, ink, wax, and chemicals. Tools include knives, gouges, burins, etching needles, acids, and lithographic crayons. Different presses are used depending on the technique, such as etching presses and lithographic presses. Define textile design. Textile design is the process of creating patterns and designs for woven, knitted, or printed fabrics used in clothing and interior decor. What is meant by repeat pattern in textile design? A repeat pattern is a design that repeats itself at regular intervals to maintain balance when fabric is produced in large quantities. What is a point paper? A point paper is a special type of graph paper traditionally used by textile designers to plan woven patterns for looms. What is a colorway? Colorway refers to the same textile design produced in different color combination. Name any three textile printing methods: block printing, screen printing, and digital printing. Explain textile design process. Textile design begins with creative ideas developed through drawings or art media. Traditionally, designs were transferred onto point papers for weaving. Today, computer-aided design CAD software is widely used. Patterns are designed in repeats to ensure balance. After design completion, suitable fabrics and printing or weaving methods are selected for production. Discuss different types of repeat layouts in textile design. Repeat layouts are used to create continuous patterns on fabric. Common types include straight repeat and half drop repeat. The size of the repeat depends on the production method, such as screen size for printing or loom size for weaving. Repeat layouts help maintain visual harmony in textile products. Describe major textile printing methods. Textile printing methods include direct printing, discharge printing, resist printing, block printing, roller printing, screen printing, and digital printing. Each method differs in techniques and usage. Modern digital printing allows higher precision and flexibility, while traditional methods offer handcrafted aesthetics. Define interior design. Interior design is the planning and designing of man-made interior spaces to improve functionality, aesthetics, and user well-being. How is interior design different from interior decoration? Interior design focuses on space planning and functionality, while interior decoration mainly deals with surface appearance such as furniture and accessories. Write one historical example of interior design. In an Ancient Egypt, soul houses placed in tombs reflected interior layouts, including windows, doors, and ventilation system. What is repetition in interior design? Repetition is the repeated use of color, pattern, or elements throughout a space to create unity. What is progression in interior design? Progression is the gradual change of an element such as size or color to create visual interest. Explain the evolution of interior design. Interior design evolved from instinctive decorating practices to a professional discipline due to industrial development and complex architecture. In ancient times, architects also worked as interior designers. Over time, interior design became focused on functionality, user comfort, and efficient use of space. Discuss repetition, progression, and transition as key feature of interior design. Repetition creates unity by repeating design elements. Progression involves gradual changes in size or color to add interest. Transition ensure smooth visual movement within a space, often achieved through curved lines or architectural features like arches. Describe the role of interior design in modern living. Interior design enhances the quality of life by improving space usage, comfort, and aesthetics. It considers human needs, safety, and functionality while creating visual pleasing environments in homes, offices, and public areas. Define product design. Product design is the process of creating and developing new products by combining art, science, and technology to meet user and market needs. What is the role of product designer? A product designer combines creativity, technology, and functionality to convert ideas into usable and marketable products. Write any three stages of the product design process: idea generation, concept development, evaluation, and implementation. How does product design differ from industrial design? Product design focuses on overall product creation, including services and software, while industrial design mainly emphasizes form, ergonomics, and mass production. Name any two digital tools used in product design: computer aided design, CAD software, visualization, and prototyping tools. Explain product design process. The product design process includes ideas generation, analysis, conceptualization, evaluation, and commercialization. Designers analyze problem, develop concepts, and transform ideas into tangible products. Digital tools help in visualization, testing, and production, making the process efficient and innovative. Discuss the relationship between product design and industrial design. Product design and industrial design overlap in many areas. Product design is a broader field that includes physical products, services, and software, while industrial design focuses on usability, aesthetics, ergonomics, and mass production. Both aim to create functional and user friendly products. Explain analysis, concept, and synthesis in product design. Analysis involves understanding the problem and user need. Concept refer to developing creative solutions. Synthesis includes idea selection, implementation, and evaluation to produce final product. Define communication design. Communication design is a discipline that combines design and information to communicate messages effectively through various media. What is the main purpose of communication design? The main purpose is to inform, persuade, and motivate audiences while delivering messages clearly and creatively. Name any three areas of communication design: advertising, graphic design, and animation. How does communication design support branding? It creates visual identity and consistent messaging to build brand recognition and credibility. What skills are essential for a communication designer? Creative thinking, strategic planning, problem solving, and visual communication skills. Explain the role of communication design in modern society. Communication design plays a vital role in advertising, branding, education, and information sharing. It uses a visual and strategic tools to influence audience behavior, promote products, spread awareness, and support humanitarian causes through effective messaging. Discuss the process of communication design. The communication design process involves research, strategy development, creativity, and problem solving. Designer translate ideas into visual and verbal messages using different media to reach the target audience effectively. Describe major fields of communication design. Communication design include advertising, brand management, graphic design, animation, illustration, marketing communication, information graphics, technical writing, and instructional design. Each field focuses on a specific communication need. Define photography. Photography is the art of and science of creating images by recording light using a camera and light sensitive materials or digital sensors. Name any three historical types of photography: film photography, black and white photography, and digital photography. What is the role of light in photography? Light affects exposure, color, mood, and clarity of a photograph. What is camera? A camera is an image forming device that captures light on film or a digital sensor. Mention any two photography techniques: stereoscopic photography, infrared photography. Explain the technical aspects used to evaluate the photograph. A photograph is evaluated based on sharpness, exposure, lighting, focus, color balance, and absence of defects such as camera shake or blown highlights. Discuss important consideration in photographic composition. Photographic composition includes balance of shapes, lines, tones, color, texture, and negative space. Visual pathways, lighting conditions, weather, and camera setting also affect the final image. Describe different photographic techniques. Photographic techniques include stereoscopic photography for depth, full spectrum photography using ultraviolet and infrared light, and light field photography that captures information about light direction and intensity. Define calligraphy. Calligraphy is a visual art related to writing in which letters are designed and executed in an expressive, harmonious, and skillful manner using special writing tools. What is modern calligraphy? Modern calligraphy includes both functional writing and fine art form where letters may or may not be readable and are used creatively. Name any two uses of calligraphy: wedding and event invitation, religious art, and manuscripts. What are the principal tools of calligraphy? The principal tool of calligraphy are the pen and brush. Why is high quality paper important in calligraphy? High quality paper absorbs ink evenly, allowing clean lines and better control during writing. Explain calligraphy as a decorative art. Calligraphy is a decorative art that transforms writing into visual expression. It focuses on the form, rhythm, and harmony of letters. Unlike typography, calligraphy is created by hand and reflects the artist's skill and personality. It is widely used in religious, cultural, and artistic works. Discuss the tools and materials used in calligraphy. Calligraphy uses pen with flat, round, or pointed nibs and brushes. Ink is usually water based for smooth flow. High quality paper, parchment, or vellum is used for clean lettering. Light boxes, templates, and ruled paper help maintain straight lines and proper spacing. What script is used in Western calligraphy? Western calligraphy mainly uses the Latin script. What role did monasteries play in European calligraphy? Monasteries preserved calligraphic traditions by copying religious texts during the Dark Ages. What are Jaguan character? Jaguan were early Chinese characters carved on animal bones and shells for divination purposes. What writing material was commonly used in ancient India? Smoke treated palm leaves were commonly used for writing in ancient India. Why is Islamic calligraphy important in Muslim culture? Islamic calligraphy visually expresses spiritual values and is closely linked with the Quran and Islamic art. Describe the development of Western calligraphy. Western calligraphy developed from the Latin alphabets in ancient Rome. Styles such as Roman capitals, cursive, and uncial evolved over time. Monasteries preserved these traditions during the Dark Ages, and regional script later developed across Europe. Discuss the history of calligraphy in East Asia. East Asian calligraphy began in ancient China with characters carved on bones and shells. Over time, scripts evolved through bronze and seal scripts. Brush writing became dominant, and standardized characters were introduced during the Qin dynasty. Explain the significance of Islamic calligraphy. Islamic calligraphy is a highly respected art form that connects language with spirituality. It decorates mosque manuscripts and artworks using Quranic verses and geometric patterns. It represents the spiritual beauty in Islam rather than spoken language. Who is considered the father of modern calligraphy? Edward Johnston is considered the father of modern calligraphy. What movement influenced modern calligraphy revival? The art and crafts movement influenced the revival of modern calligraphy. Name one contribution of Edward Johnston. He designed the typeface for the London Underground. Who revived gilding in calligraphy? Grely Hewitt revived the use of gilding with gold leaf in calligraphy. What is the Society of Scribes and Illuminators? SSI, Society of Scribes and Illuminators, is an international organization founded to promote calligraphy and illumination. Explain the revival of modern calligraphy. Modern calligraphy revived in the late 19th century due to the arts and crafts movement. Edward Johnston played a key role by studying medieval manuscript and teaching broad-edged pen techniques. His work inspired many artists and designers. Discuss the contribution of Grely Hewitt to calligraphy. Grely Hewitt contributed to modern calligraphy by reviving gilding techniques using gesso and gold leaf. He published influential artworks, helped found the Society of Scribes and Illuminators, and played a major role in decorative lettering. Describe the influence of calligraphy in Europe during the 20th century. Calligraphy spread across Europe through teachers and publications. Anna Simmons promoted calligraphy in Germany, while Rudolf Larisch influenced German-speaking countries. Gothic script remained influential, shaping regional calligraphic styles. Performing arts are art form in which artists perform live before an audience, such as music, dance, theater, and film. Define music. Music is the art of combining vocal or instrumental sounds to produce beauty, emotion, rhythm, and melody. Define dance. Dance is the rhythmic movement of the body, usually to music, to express emotion, ideas, or enjoyment. What is theater? Theater is a performing art based on live performances where actions are carefully planned to present drama. What is catharsis? Catharsis is the emotional purification or release of feelings like pity and fear through art, especially tragedy. Explain different forms of performing art. The major form of performing art include music, dance, theater, and film. Music expresses emotion through sound, dance through body movement, theater through live drama, and film through moving images. Each form communicates ideas and emotion to an audience. Discuss the concept of catharsis in performing arts. Catharsis refers to the emotional cleansing experienced by the audience after watching a tragic performance. According to Aristotle, true tragedy purifies emotions such as fear and pity, creating emotional balance and relief. Define music education for young children. Music education for young children introduces them to music, movement, and singing in a playful and enjoyable way. Name any two pedagogies of early childhood music education: ORF method, chorale method. What is musical play? Musical play is a child centered approach where children learn music through fun, movement, and exploration. Explain pedagogies of early childhood music education. Pedagogies such as Orff Kodle, Dalcross, and Suzuki promote music learning through movement, rhythm, folk songs, and listening skills. These methods focus on early music literacy and physical expression, helping children develop musical understanding naturally. Discuss the benefit of music education for children. Music education develops social, emotional, cognitive, and physical skills. It improves language, memory, coordination, self esteem, and cultural awareness. Music also helps children express emotions and work cooperatively in groups. How does music help language development? Music helps children associate sounds with words, improves listening skills, and strengthens language processing. Mention two physical benefits of music for children: development of gross motor skills, improvement in fine motor skills. How does music affect a child's emotion? Music improves mood, builds self esteem, and provides emotional satisfaction. Explain the role of music education in early childhood development. Music education supports language, cognitive, physical, and social development. It enhances memory, coordination, listening skills, and emotional expression. Group music activities help children learn cooperation and creativity. Discuss social and cognitive benefits of music education. Music encourages teamwork, sharing, and communication. Cognitively, it improves counting skills, pattern recognition, phonemic awareness, and memory development. Define creativity. Creativity is the mental process of generating new ideas for or combining existing ideas in new way. According to Sperry, which part of the brain is related to creativity? The right part of the brain is responsible for creativity and imagination. How did Mingus define creativity? Mingus stated that creativity is making complicated things simple. Explain creativity with reference to different definition. Creativity involves imagination, emotional expression, and innovation. Authors describe creativity as simplifying complexity, expressing emotions, and releasing inner energy into tangible form. It allows individuals to explore and solve problems creatively. What is art? Art is a form of human expression that creates visual, auditory, or performance work for beauty or emotional impact. What is creativity? Creativity is the ability to generate original ideas through exploration and imagination. Where can creativity be found besides art? Creativity can be found in science, business, problem solving, and daily life activity. Discuss the relationship between art and creativity. Art is the expression of creativity through skills and techniques. Creativity focuses on ideas and imagination, while art gives them a physical or visual form. Both are closely linked but not identical. Explain creativity in children. Children's creativity develops through exploration rather than final product. It helps them think freely, discover new ideas, and express themselves in various aspects of life. What is artistic ability? Artistic ability refers to skills and talent used to create artworks like painting, music, or sculpture. What is creative ability? Creative ability is the capacity to use imagination to think, create, and solve problems. Can a person be creative without being artist? Yes, a person can be creative without having artistic skills. Differentiate between artistic ability and creative ability. Artistic ability involves technical skills to create artworks, while creative ability involves imagination and problem solving. An artist is usually creative, but creativity is not limited to artists. Creativity exists in all fields of life. What is childhood development? Childhood development refers to physical, cognitive, social, emotional, and creative growth of children from birth to early years. Why is early childhood important for creativity? Early childhood is important because creativity develops naturally through play, drawings, interaction, and exploration, helping children express ideas and emotions freely. Who introduced the stages of artistic development? Dr. Victor Lowenfeld introduced the stages of artistic development in 1947 in his book Creative and Mental Growth. Explain Lowenfeld's stages of artistic development. Dr. Victor Lowenfeld proposed 6 stages of artistic development that show how children's drawing skills evolve with age. These stages include scribble, pre-schematic, schematic, dawning realism, pseudo-naturalistic, and design stage. Each stage reflects a child's cognitive, emotional, and creative growth and helps teachers understand children's artistic needs. Discuss the role of early childhood development in learning. Early childhood development plays a vital role in shaping child's physical, cognitive, social, and emotional abilities. Children learn basic skills like speaking, movement, cooperation, and creativity through daily activities such as play and interaction. Proper guidance during this period supports lifelong learning. What is the scribble stage? The scribble stage is the first stage of artistic development where children make random marks without meaning. What is the main purpose of scribbling? The main purpose is enjoyment, physical movement, and developing hand eye coordination. Do scribbles represent objects at this stage? No. Scribbles usually do not represent objects, though children may name their marks towards the end of the stage. Explain the characteristics of the scribble stage. During the scribble stage, children focus on the physical act of drawing rather than representation. Their drawings are random, repetitive, and lack form. This stage helps children gain motor control and experience joy in mark making. What is the pre-schematic stage? The pre-schematic stage is when children start connecting shapes with real-world objects such as people or animal. What are tadpole figures? Tadpole figures are simple human drawings made with circles and lines representing the head and body. What new skill develops at this stage? Children begin using drawings as a form of communication. Describe the main features of the pre-schematic stage. In this stage, children start identifying shapes as objects. Human figures are drawn as state pole shapes. Drawings show personal experience and basic understanding of gender and family members. What is a schema in drawing? A schema is a repeated pattern or method a child uses to draw familiar objects. What colors are used in this stage? Children use natural colors related to real objects. What is baseline in drawing? Baseline is a ground line where objects are placed instead of floating. Explain the characteristics of this schematic stage. Children develop consistent drawing pattern. In this stage, objects are placed on a baseline with clear sky and ground. Important objects are drawn larger, showing the child's priorities and understanding of space. What is dawning realism? It is a stage where children become more realistic and critical about their drawings. What new element appears in drawing? Overlapping and spatial relationship begins to appear. How do children feel about their work? They become critical and want their drawings to look correct. Discuss the dawning realism stage. At this stage, children try to show depth and realism. They include detail, overlapping objects, and spatial relationship. They aim for accuracy and become self-critical of their artwork. What is the pseudo-naturalistic stage? It is a stage where children aim for realistic drawings using light and shading. Why do children feel frustrated at this stage? Because they judge their work based on realism and feel dissatisfied with results. What is important for teacher at this stage? Encouragement and emotional support. Explain the characteristics of the pseudo-naturalistic state. Children focus on realism, shading, and value. They are highly self-critical and may feel frustrated. Proper encouragement is essential to maintain confidence and interest in art. Why is it called the decision stage? Because children decide whether to continue art or leave it. What causes many children to quit drawing? High self criticism and lack of confidence. What helps students continue art? Practice, encouragement, and motivation. Why is the decision state critical for artistic development? This stage determines whether a child will continue developing artistic skills. Support and encouragement help a student overcome self doubt and realize that skills improve with practice. How can asking questions develop creativity? Asking why and how questions encourage curiosity, imagination, and problem solving skill. Why is play based learning important? It develops creativity, coordination, self expression, and motor skills. How does reading help creativity? Reading improves imagination, vocabulary, thinking skills, and focus. Discuss method to develop creativity in children. Creativity can be developed by encouraging curiosity, asking questions, limiting screen time, reading books, providing creative activities, and allowing free imagination. Play based learning and exposure to art and culture also enhance creative thinking. Explain the role of parents and teachers in developing creativity. Parents and teachers guide children by providing meaningful discussions, creative opportunities, and supportive environment. They should avoid excessive rewards and allow children to explore ideas freely to enhance creativity. What are the main theories of creativity? The five main theories of creativity are psychoanalytical theory, mental illness theory, psychoticism theory, addiction theory, and humanistic theories. What is the basic idea of the psychoanalytical theory of creativity? Psychoanalytical theory of creativity states that creativity arises from suppressed emotion, trauma, or difficult life situation. According to psychoanalytical theory, why do people become creative? People become creative to cope with emotional pain, stress, or unconscious conflict. Explain the psychoanalytical theory of creativity. The psychoanalytical theory believes that creativity develops as a reaction of emotional stress, trauma, or suppressed feeling. When individuals face difficult situations, they withdraw from their surroundings and express emotions through creative activities. Creativity becomes a way to release inner conflicts and find solutions. Briefly discuss the five theories of creativity. The psychoanalytical theory links creativity with emotional conflicts. The mental illness theory associates creativity with psychological disorders. The psychoticism theory relates creativity with psychotic tendencies. The addiction theory connects creativity with substance abuse. Humanistic theory believes creativity occurs when basic human needs are fulfilled. What is the mental illness theory of creativity? It states that creativity is linked with certain mental disorders such as bipolar disorder or depression. Name common disorders associated with creativity: bipolar disorders, schizophrenia, and manic depressive disorders. What does psychoticism theory suggest? It suggests that creative people possess psychotic tendencies that enhances creativity. Explain the mental illness theory for creativity. This theory suggests that creativity is linked to mental illness. Creative individuals often experience mood swing, depression, or emotional instability. These psychological conditions help them think differently and produce creative work. Discuss the creative theory of psychoticism. The psychoticism theory believes that creativity is related to psychotic traits. Many creative individuals show unusual thinking patterns and behaviors similar to mild psychosis. These tendencies help them think beyond normal limits and produce creative ideas. What is the addiction theory of creativity? This theory suggests that substance addiction may increase creativity. Why is the addiction theory controversial? Because creativity may result from depression rather than addiction itself. What is the core belief of humanistic theory? Creativity occurs when basic human needs are fulfilled. Explain the addiction theory of creativity. The addiction theory claims that substances like alcohol or drugs can enhance creativity. However, critics argue that addiction does not cause creativity but is linked to mental health issues such as depression, which may influence creativity. Discuss the humanistic theory of creativity. The humanistic theory believes humans have basic needs that must be fulfilled before achieving creativity. Once self actualization is reached, individuals freely express creativity. This theory emphasizes personal growth rather than environment or illness. What is creative art? Creative art is the ability to create original ideas using imagination and innovation. Name activities included in creative arts: art, music, dance, drama, and puppetry. How does creative art help motor skills? It develops both fine and gross motor skills through movement and tool use. Explain the importance of creative art in early childhood. Creative arts help develop physical, emotional, and mental skills. Activities like painting improve fine motor skills, while dancing enhance gross motor skill. These skills are essential for coordination and lifelong development. How do creative arts promote problem solving skills? Creative art encourages experimentation, imagination, and risk free exploration. Children learn to solve problems creatively, build confidence, and innovate through artistic activities. What are fine motor skills? Fine motor skills involve small muscle movement like gripping and drawing. What is hand-eye coordination? It is the ability to coordinate hand movement with visual input. Give examples of fine motor skill: using a fork, drawing, buttoning clothes. Explain fine motor skills and their importance. Fine motor skills involve precise movements of small muscles in hand and fingers. These skills help children perform tasks like writing, eating, and dressing, which are essential for school readiness. What fine motor skill develop at 6 to 9 months? Grasping and holding objects. What skill appear at 2 years of age? Stacking block and turning doorknobs. What fine motor skill develop at 5 years? Correct pencil grasp and cutting shapes. Describe the phases of fine motor skills. Fine motor development progress from grasping object in infancy to writing and cutting in skills in early childhood. Each phase builds coordination, precision, and control needed for daily activities and academic success. How does Play Doh help fine motor skill? It strengthens hand muscles and finger control. Why are puzzles important? They improve hand-eye coordination and pincer grasp. How does drawing help children? It enhances hand control, creativity, and coordination. Discuss methods to improve children's fine motor skills. Activities such as Play-Doh, puzzles, drawing, cutting with scissors, threading beads, building with blocks, and sand play strengthen hand muscles, coordination, and dexterity needed for writing and daily tasks. What are gross motor skills? Gross motor skills involve large muscles movement like walking and jumping. Give example of gross motor skills: running, climbing, throwing a ball. Why are gross motor skills important? They help with balance, coordination, and physical strength. Explain gross motor skills with and their importance. Gross motor skills involve large muscles and broad movements such as walking, jumping, and climbing. These skills support physical development, coordination, and independence. Delays may require physical or occupational therapy. Mention any three gross motor skills developed between 6 months to 1 year: crawling, sitting without support, and pulling to stand. State two gross motor skill develop at the age of 5 years: catching a ball with two hands, and hopping on one foot. Explain the phases of gross motor skill development. Gross motor skill develop gradually with age between 3 to 6 months. Infants raise arm and roll over. From 6 months to 1 year, they crawl and sit without support. At 1 to 2 years, children walk with assistance, climb and jump. By 3 to 5 years, children develop advanced skills like running smoothly, hopping, catching ball, and climbing stairs confidently. Why is gross motor skill development important in early childhood? Gross motor skills are essential for physical strength, balance, coordination, and independence. Proper development helps children perform daily activities, participate in play, and build confidence. Delay may affect overall growth and learning. At what age a baby usually start crawling? Around 8 to 9 months. When can a child walk independently? Between 12 to 18 months. What gross motor skill develop at 3 years of age? Climbing, jumping, kicking a ball, and stand on one foot. Describe the timeline of gross motor skill development. Gross motor development follows a predictable sequence. By 3 to 4 months, babies lift head and chest. At 6 months, they roll over. At 7 months, they sit independently. Crawling begins at 8 to 9 months. Walking starts between 12 to 18 months. By age 2 to 3, children can run, jump, climb, and kick a ball. Why do gross motor skills develop in sequence? Gross motor skills develop in sequence because each skill builds on the previous one. For example, a child must sit and stand before walking. This progression ensures balance, coordination, and muscle strength. Define psychological learning. Psychological learning is a relatively permanent change in behavior resulting from experience and practice. What are the three main elements of learning? Behavioral change, learning through experience, and relative permanence. What is psychology of art? It is the study of creativity and artistic appreciation from a psychological perspective. Explain psychological learning with its main characteristics. Psychological learning refers to permanent behavioral changes caused by experience and practice. It does not include changes due to growth or maturity. Learning can result in positive or negative behavior and last for a long time. Discuss the role of psychology in art. Psychology of art studies creativity, emotional expression, and artistic appreciation. It connects art with disciplines like philosophy and art history. Art therapy uses creative activities such as painting and music to reduce stress and anxiety and promote emotional healing. What hormones are released through painting? Painting releases dopamine, which gives a feeling of reward, and endorphins, which provides a sense of happiness and well being. Mention any three benefits of psychological learning through art: development of social skills, release of stress and anxiety, and psychological well being. How does art help in behavioral control? Art helps individuals express emotion positively, which improves emotional regulation and behavioral control. Explain the psychological learning benefit of art. Psychological learning through art provide many benefits. Painting release dopamine and endorphins, which create feelings of reward and happiness. Art reduces stress and anxiety and promotes psychological well-being. It helps in developing social skills, controlling behavior, and working on the subconscious mind to support self-knowledge and emotional healing. How does art contribute to mental well being? Art activities provide emotional satisfaction similar to exercise. Completing an artwork creates happiness and confidence. Art helps release hidden emotion, reduces anxiety, improves behavior, and enhances overall psychological well being. Define social learning. Social learning is learning that occurs by observing the behavior of others through social interaction. What is observational learning? Observational learning is learning a new behavior by watching others and then adopting that behavior. Give one example of social learning. Television commercials influence people's behavior through observation. Explain the process of social learning. Social learning begins with observing a behavior, understanding it, and then adopting it. Learning improves when the observed behavior is organized and rehearsed mentally using words or images. People are more likely to adopt behaviors that produce valued outcomes and are performed by admired or similar individuals. Discuss factors that influence adoption of modeled behavior. People adopt behaviors when the model is admired, similar to the observer, and when the behavior has functional value. Positive outcome increase the likelihood of imitation. Symbolic rehearsal also improve retention of learned behavior. How does social learning improve engagement? Social learning increases interaction, which improves participation and engagement among learners. State two benefit of social learning: encourage collaboration and development of self-organization skills. How does social learning help in education control? It gives learners greater control over their learning process. Explain the benefits of social learning. Social learning encourages interaction and collaboration among learners. It increases engagement, especially among disengaged students. Learners develop self-organization skills and teamwork abilities. Social learning also develops skills useful in the workplace, such as communication and problem solving. Why should teaching methods consider the 21st century context? Because students live in an age of science, technology, globalization, and information technology. Mention two macro disciplines related to understanding the world: history and philosophy. What is reflective practice in teaching? Reflective practice involves students analyzing and discussing their artwork to improve learning. Discuss strategies for teaching art to children. Teaching art involves modeling artist thinking, reflective practice, open-ended investigations, material exploration, collaborative projects, and balancing process and product. These strategies encourage creativity, critical thinking, and interdisciplinary learning. Explain the importance of balancing process and product in art education. Balancing process and product helps students value thinking, exploration, and participation in art. Showing sketches and writings along with final artwork helps students understand artistic growth and creativity. What is the main objective of the new teaching method in art? To develop students' artistic genius and skills. Mention any three vital aspects of the new teaching method: understanding the artist, the product, and the viewer. Why is practice important in art learning? Practice helps develop technical skills and visual problem solving abilities. Explain the new teaching method in art education. The new teaching method focuses on understanding the artist, artwork, and viewer. It emphasizes relationships between them and encourages creativity, critical thinking, and practice. Students develop personal vision through real world experiences and cultural studies. Discuss the objectives of field specific knowledge in art education. Students learn basic art elements, composition rules, techniques, art history, and problem solving strategies. This knowledge helps them create strong and meaningful artwork individually and collaboratively. What is meant by mental hierarchy in art? Mental hierarchy refers to mental processes involved in creating, experiencing, and interpreting art. Name the three stages of the art process: creation, artwork, and viewer experience. Why is understanding mental functions important in art? Because mental functions influence creativity, perception, and interpretation of art. Explain the concept of mental hierarchy in art. Mental hierarchy explains how art begins as an idea in the artist's mind, transformed into artwork and is then experienced and interpreted by the viewer. Understanding mental capabilities helps explain creativity and artistic experience. Discuss the role of the viewer in the art process. The viewer completes the art process by perceiving and interpreting the artwork. The experience depends on mental abilities, emotions, and personal understanding, making interpretation an essential part of art. What is meant by independent thinking? Independent thinking is the ability to test knowledge through personal experience, persistence, and learning from mistakes. How are mental capabilities related to artistic qualities according to Damasio's model? Mental functions determine mental capabilities, which in turn determine artistic qualities. Define curiosity in the context of artistic learning. Curiosity is an intense desire of continuous learning and exploration of new ideas. Explain the role of independent thinking in developing artistic qualities. According to Damasio's model, mental functions develop mental capabilities that shape artistic qualities. Independent thinking encourages learners to test ideas through experience, remain persistent, and learn from mistakes. This process strengthens creativity, originality, and realistic confidence. Discuss curiosity as a principle of mental capability development. Curiosity involves an unrelenting desire to learn and explore. It motivates individuals to ask questions, seek knowledge, and experiment. In art, curiosity enhances creativity, innovation, and continuous growth in artistic skills. How many steps are involved in 21st century teaching? There are 4 steps involved in 21st century teaching. What is the first step of the 4-step teaching process? Upgrading the source that produces art. Why is constant evolution important in teaching? It helps teacher improve knowledge, methods, and effectiveness over time. Explain the 4 steps of teaching in the 21st century. The 4 steps include upgrading the source that produce art, changing the source and monitoring work, analyzing and assessing the source, and continuously evolving teaching knowledge and approach. These steps help improve creativity and teaching effectiveness. Define teaching strategy according to Stone and Morris. Teaching strategy is a generalized plan for a lesson that includes objectives, content, structure, and instructional tactics. Who is a teaching artist? A teaching artist is a professional artist who teaches and integrates art skills into different learning settings. What is brainstorming as a teaching strategy? Brainstorming is a thinking strategy where students generate ideas freely without judgment. Explain the importance of teaching strategies in art education. Teaching strategies organize lesson objectives, content, tasks, and activities. They consider students' interests, abilities, attitudes, and behavior changes. Effective strategies enhance creativity, understanding, and engagement in art learning. Discuss the role of teaching artists in education. Teaching artists combine professional art experience with teaching. They integrate creativity, real world perspective, and brainstorming activities to help students develop ideas, skills, and artistic understanding. What is brainstorming? Brainstorming is a strategy where students share ideas freely to explore a topic without criticism. Define cooperative learning. Cooperative learning is a strategy where students work in groups to achieve a common learning goal. What is think, pair, share? It is a strategy where students think individually, discuss ideas in pair, and then share with the class. Explain cooperative learning and its basic elements. Cooperative learning allows students to work as a team. It elements individual positive independence, face to face interaction, individual and group accountability, social skills, and group processing. These elements improve teamwork and learning outcomes. Discussion as a teaching strategy. Discussion involves open exchange of ideas between teachers and students. It improves understanding, problem solving, listening, and speaking skills. It can be a teacher led or student led and used in various subjects. What is evaluation? Art evaluation is the process of explaining why an artwork is liked or disliked using facts and personal judgment. Why is art evaluation not simply liking or disliking? Because it requires reasons, analysis, and understanding of the artwork and its context. Name the four steps of art evaluation. Description, analysis, interpretation, and judgment are the four steps. Explain the concept of art evaluation. Art evaluation involves objective facts and subjective opinions. It explains why an artwork is liked or disliked based on its context, technique, and meaning. Knowledge of the artist, time, and style improves evaluation. Describe the four-step process of art evaluation. The four steps include description of visible elements, analysis of composition, interpretation of meaning, and judgment based on informed opinion. What is description in art evaluation? Description is the object explanation of what is visible in an artwork without interpretation. What information is included in the description step? Medium, size, color, shapes, line, texture, and context of the artwork. Why is description important in art evaluation? It provides factual information needed for accurate analysis and judgment. Explain the description step in art evaluation. Description focus on what is seen in the artwork. It includes form, medium size, colors, shapes, lines, texture, composition, and historical context. No personal opinions are included at this stage. Discuss the type of questions asked during the description stage. Questions focus on the artist's name, medium, date, object shown, colors, shape, textures, time setting, and overall visual effect. What is meant by analysis? In art criticism, analysis is the stage of art critique in which the technical elements and the principles used by the artist are examined to understand how the artwork creates its overall effect. Name any three technical elements analyzed in artwork: line, color, shape, and texture. Why is analysis important in art evaluation? Analysis explains how elements of art and principles of design are used to convey mood, meaning, and visual impact. Explain the analysis stage in art evaluation. Analysis moves beyond description and focuses on how an artwork is created. It examines subject matter, use of line, color, texture, space, light balance, proportion, and movement. This stage helps understand how visual elements work together to create meaning and emotional response. Discuss the role of color, light, and space in analysis of artwork. Color influences mood through warm or cool tones. Light creates contrast, depth, and emphasis. Space may be shallow or deep, real or illusionary, and is often achieved through perspective. Together, they shape the visual impact of the artwork. What is interpretation in art technique? Interpretation is the subjective stage where viewers explain the meaning, message, or purpose of an artwork. Name any three models of interpretation: historical, symbolic, and cultural. What is iconography according to Panofsky? Iconography is the study of symbols, theme, and conventional meaning in artwork. Explain interpretation as a step of art evaluation. Interpretation uses analysis to understand the artist's intention and message. It explores meaning, symbolism, emotions, and personal connections. Interpretation is subjective and may vary from wear to wear. Explain Erwin Panofsky's three levels of interpretation. Panofsky described three levels as pre-iconographical. It is basic identification of objects. Iconographical, linking images to themes and symbols. Iconological, deep meaning reflecting culture, philosophy, and historical context. Discuss Barrett's principle of interpretation. Barrett states that artworks require interpretation. Multiple interpretation can exist, and good interpretation focus on the artwork rather than critic. What is judgment in art evaluation? Judgment is the personal evaluation of an artwork based on description, analysis, and interpretation. Name three theories used to judge expressive qualities in art: imitationalism, formalism, and emotionalism. With what is emotionalism in art judgment? Emotionalism evaluates art based on its ability to evoke feelings and emotions in the viewer. Explain the judgment stage in art evaluation. Judgment is the final step where viewers decide the quality and value of an artwork. It is based on criteria, evidence, and personal understanding. Discuss theories used in judging artwork. Imitationalism values realistic representation. Formalism focuses on elements and design principles. Emotionalism emphasizes emotional response. Each theory provides different way to judge artistic quality. Explain the concept of beauty in art. Beauty in art include emotional interest, intellectual engagement, disinterested pleasure, and evolutionary interest. These factors influence how viewers value and respond to artwork. Who explained the evaluation of performing arts in Truth and Methods? George Gadamer. What is meant by presence in performance evaluation? Presence refer to the performance complete awareness and authenticity during performance. Define self-forgetfulness in performing arts. Self-forgetfulness is when the audience becomes fully absorbed and loses awareness of themselves. Explain Gadamer's concept of aesthetic influence in performing art. According to Gadamer, aesthetic influence depends on presence, sharing, self-forgetfulness, contemporaneity, and absolute presence. These factors allow deep engagement between performance and audience. Discuss the importance of self-forgetfulness and contemporaneity in performance. Self-forgetfulness immerses the audience emotionally, while contemporaneity brings past performances into present experience. Together, they create absolute presence and meaningful impact. इसके साथ ही हमारे ये वीडियो यहाँ कंप्लीट होती है। थोड़ी लेंदी है लेकिन इसमें तमाम जो क्वेश्चंस हैं आपके वो कवर किए गए हैं टॉपिक वाइज। मुझे उम्मीद है कि ये आपके लिए बहुत यूजफुल वीडियो रहेगी।